Hey, so today we crack open the case on, already took it out, my black deck. Now this is a deck, again, I just got done, this one needed some sleeve love, so I just threw some new sleeves on it. Ultra Pro sleeves, glad to see the prices on that haven't gone up too much, but the quality seems to have gotten better. And this deck, before we get into it, this deck always intended to use creatures as shields and then to burn the opponent down with spells, and at the same time focus on giving yourself life gain, because there is a nuclear option in this deck where no one wins. And I'll show you what I mean as we get to that. So today, guys, we look at a 10-year-old black deck, mono black, that's going to include things like Drudge in it. And Drudge being used in a defensive way more so than anything. So here we go. We start off with the classic creature destroyer, Terror. Alright, for 2 mana, 1 black mana, or 1 swamp and a colorless mana, so it's mono black, so 2 swamps. You destroy target non-black, non-artifact creature. And, you know, can it get any better than that? Just be like, oh, look, that big old drop you just made. Whew, man, you buffed it up. Oh, wait, and this is an instant? No, you're not attacking me with that. Gotta love it. That's a god killer right there. So, swamps. I always thought the swamps had good artwork. But, Revenous Rat. He's a 1/1, and he costs 2 to get, 1 colorless in a swamp. But when you play him, he's a nice little aggravator because your opponent has to randomly discard a card from their hand. So, nice way, not powerful, he kind of has a nice little ability that he aggravates people, and he is a good little fodder to go into the graveyard. Drudge Skeletons. This is a nice old card. I love this card. So it's 1 colorless and a swamp, so 2 mana to bring in a 1/1, but tap 1 to regenerate. You can just block with this guy for days, just block and regenerate and block and regenerate, and it's beautiful. Now, I mentioned a nuclear option in this deck. Here it is. This is Pestilence. Pestilence is an enchantment. It costs 4. You pay the 4, and now it's on the field. Now, for every mana you pay into it, you deal 1 damage to every creature and every player. So you got 20 mana laying around, and you have this on the field, boom, everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Now, at the end of turn, if there's no creatures on the field, Pestilence goes away. It also will leave the field, go to the graveyard. So playing this in combination with something like our Drudge Skeletons can become very lucrative. If you want to kill everything on their side, make sure you have a defender left. Then we have Diabolical Edict. This is a fun way to kind of punish your opponent. Oh, look, you have monsters. You must sacrifice one. And if they only have 1 monster, then hey, that monster's dead. And for only 2 mana, hard to argue. And also it moves at instant speed. Alternate artwork for Terror. This is newer artwork, or newer by comparison to my other one. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I think it's Mister, or what, Miser, or whatever. It's a rat. It costs 1, and it's a 1/1, but it makes your opponent's hand size shrink by 1. So you put 4 of these into the deck, you get all 4 on the field. People want to get rid of these because now their hand size is 3. Not a way to make friends. Raise the Dead. Pay 1 mana, throw it down, you get to take one card out of your graveyard, one target creature card out of your graveyard, I should be specific, and you put it back in your hand. Carrion Rats. Again, that's a rat for one cost of mana. You could throw them out there. Now, whenever Carrion Rats attacks or blocks, any player may remove a card from their graveyard from the game. If the player does, Carrion Rats deals no damage that turn. And he's a 2/1. His ability kind of sucks because people can nullify his power, but again, if he's just defense fodder, who cares? Oh, this has been one of the last cards I put in here. I think I just put this in when I got it because hey, it's a rat. And that was the Abiga Gang Shinobi. And they're ninja rats, and I think I put them in there just for that. And they have a nice little power. So you're looking at 5 mana for a 3/2. And they are 3 colorless and 2 swamps. And they have ninjutsu. So then we have Bograts. Bograts is awesome. They are a 1 mana for a 1/1, and Bograts cannot be blocked by walls. So somebody thinks they're going to hide behind a wall, not from Bograts. And again, they make great graveyard fodder. Other than that, another Ravenous Rat. Love Ravenous Rats. So then we have Sewer Rats, another cost 1 for a 1/1. And their ability is you could pay 1 and pay a life to give them a +1/+0 until end of turn. No more. You can't pay for the ability more than 3 times, but I don't think I've ever paid for that ability. Oh, the Death Mask Nimit. I can't pronounce that. It's another rat. This is an expensive rat though. At 3 mana, 2 colorless, 1 swamp. And as long as you have 7 cards in your hand, so in other words, as long as you have kind of the reverse of Threshold, you get +2/+1, and he's already a 2/2. So that's actually kind of cool if you're, makes a decent little defender. And then what this deck is all about, Soulburn. Soulburn is a cost 1 swamp +2, so you're looking at a cost of 3 plus X, and you can deal X to either a creature or a player, and you can only spend red or black mana on this card, but for all the damage you deal, you gain that much life, and hey, that's kind of a big deal. So, but this does have a catch on it. You can only gain life for the black mana you spend on it, so only for the swamps, which isn't a big deal, as this is a mono black deck. So 2 of those in there, that's probably more. 2 right here, and that's, you're gaining life, and then you throw that in combination with the pestilence we were looking at. You hit them for 10 life, next turn, when your mana comes undone, you just hit everybody for 10 again, and you'll still be alive. Then we have Ghastly Demise. Again, 1 mana, destroy a target non-black creature. If the target's toughness is lower than the cards in your graveyard. And by now you should have plenty of fodder in the graveyard, so you just throw that out there and destroy a creature for 1 mana. Gotta love that. Alternative artwork for Pestilence, because in case one gets destroyed, good to have a backup. Dark Banishing costs you 3 to destroy a creature. I believe it's as long as it's non-black, you can destroy it. And if it's just in case the creature has Regenerate, this card specifically states no regeneration, and it can move at instant speed. Next we have the Cabal Ritual. Now, Cabal Ritual is awesome because it's pay 2 and get 3. Or, once you have 7 cards in your graveyard giving you Threshold, it's pay 2, get 5. So this is, again, a lot of fun to ramp up for using on your Soul Burns or Life Drains. This is Scourging Dementia. So this is all about just making your opponent throw a card away. If you have more of these, it has a ripple effect. So if you have 3 already in your graveyard, then this effect will hit them 3 more times plus this. That's always awesome. And then back to Terror. And then good old-fashioned Drain Life. I mean, that doesn't get any simpler. Pay 2 plus X, deal that much damage to target creature or player, gain that much life. Then we have Wall of Shadows. Wall of Shadows is a great blocker because Wall of Shadows does not take combat damage. So even against those big behemoths, this bad boy can stop it. Cremate. Cremate is awesome. Just a little bit of speed up the deck. You can throw this down. It's at instant speed. 1 mana, discard a card from your graveyard from the game, and get to draw an extra card. Disembowel. So for 1 mana plus X, X being equivalent to the mana cost of the target creature, you kill that creature. This is an oldie but a goodie. So this costs 4 mana, 3 swamps plus 1 colorless, so 4 mana all in all for a 1/3, and this card again takes no combat damage. All damage done to Uncle Invesstein by creatures is reduced to 0. So this isn't just combat damage, this includes those little pecker monsters that like to tap to do damage to a monster. That's damage from a monster. Does not affect this card. All black decks should have a Cabal Coffer. Even in the old days we knew that. You pay 2 to tap this land, and for every swamp you control, it gives you 1 black mana. Ooh, excuse me. So, you have a healthy amount of black mana, you throw this out there with a life drain, it's done. Another Cadaverous Knight, similar to our other Drudge cards. You pay 3, you get a 2/2 Knight, and you pay 3 for Regenerate. Again, awesome long-term defender, and he has flanking, which means any monster he does battle with, that monster, unless it also has flanking, receives a -1/-1 while doing battle. Morbid Hunger. So Morbid Hunger, it costs 6 to cast, and you deal 3 damage to a opponent or creature, and you gain 3 life. But it also has a flashback of 9 mana that we can pay. So not only can we play this once, but then we can later play it again from our graveyard. So potential for 6 damage and 6 life is awesome. Oh, there we are, the Drudge Enchantment. So this costs 2 to get out, and every time we pay 1 mana to this enchantment, we can take 2 creature cards from our graveyard and gain a Drudge skeleton counter that has 1 mana regenerate. So very similar to our Drudge skeletons, it basically gives us more of those, and we can continue to regenerate them as long as we have mana, and that is awesome. Probably the most famous Dark Ritual. Yeah, Dark Ritual, you can't go wrong. 1 mana and get 3. And we all wish we had these in other decks. I know I wish we had these in red. Another Morbid Hunger. Alternative art for Drain Life. Yeah. And then Soul Spike. So Soul Spike is cool because it would normally cost 7 to deal 4 damage and gain 4 life, or you can discard 2 black cards from your hand to not have to pay it and do that at instant. So if you're going to get down to the wire with who you're playing, you can just say, hey, I'm going to play this as an instant because I'm going to discard these cards and life is good. So that is this deck. That is everything. So now you guys have seen what a relatively, in a casual sense or in a friendly sense, a powerful black deck from 10 years ago kind of looked like. Again, this wasn't meant to be an all-powerful tournament deck, but it was a fun deck to use at the card shop. And yeah, so until next time, guys, we'll take a look at another deck. Actually, I think I'm going to dig out an old deck that's kind of a theme that maybe someday will come back. Maybe it hasn't while I was gone. But we'll talk about that next time, guys. So until next time, be good people. Have fun doing it. And remember, it's a new day. Time to make a new game.